Hello, everyone. My name is Oksana. It's Road to Edoverse Weekly Edoverse Insider, the 63rd. We deliver the news about the creation of our project Edoverse. And as usual, Tokugawa-san, could you please start the session?
Okay, thank you, Oksana. Hello, everybody. This is Iehiro Tokugawa speaking. Now, this is part two of the commoners, the non-samurai population of Edo. I think I've mentioned that most of Edo was occupied by land for the samurai. And this includes all the daimyo mansions, which are being, sold in, the ownership of which is being divided and sold in the Edoverse space. And then there was the land, and the samurai land amounted to 60% of the city area. And another 20% went to all the temples and the jinja. So for the townsfolk, it was only the 20% of all of Edo. And that area included about 500,000 to, occasionally more than 1 million commoners. So it was a very, very congested city. I think this much I have mentioned. But at the very beginning, when Tokugawa Ieyasu first entered Edo, quite surprisingly, there were only 200 households around the then Edo castle. So, let's say if there were 5 to 6 people per household, then the original population of Edo was something like 1,000. And this is the samurai not accounted for. So, but in about 200 years time, yes, 200 years later, there were, more than 100,000 100,000 houses, and these were all the major merchant houses that owned their own land and whose shops were facing the main thoroughfares. So what is this? This is like a 5,000 fold growth of population. But anyway, so this corresponded to the over 1 million population of Edo by the late 18th century. Now, and then how were these people managed? You see, all the samurai were under a kind of a military command structure with the shogun at the top. And then what about the townsfolk? So the history of Edo as a early modern city started with 3 families that moved in with Tokugawa Ieyasu, and their names are recorded. And so these were the initial, how would you say, the sheriffs of Edo. And then there were other very old commoner families. And these 3 families had the privilege of, using their family name, which was actually a samurai privilege, and then possessing swords, a katana. So they were treated as samurai, and they could attend all the ceremonies of the shogun. And then there were 30 to 40 families at the same level, and they were all called nanushi. And na is the same as myo, which means a name, and it means that each parcel of land, let's say 1 acre, 2 acres, had the owner's name on it. And a daimyo was originally a person with a lot of area with the names. So these would be a small scale daimyo. And then, so these were, in fact, the governors. So there was a samurai bugyo, machi bugyo, at the very top. But these were the people who just wrote the very general rules and oversaw all the, legal court. But they were not administrators. So these original families became the top of the governing structure thereafter, as far as commoners were concerned. And then beneath them was another class. And then the third would be the smaller landowners. So there was this pyramid kind of hierarchy, which would emerge in any town according to the length of their stay and the size of their land holding. So the Tokugawa shoguns turned this natural hierarchy into an administrative hierarchy. And at the bottom level, the smallest sized landowners would actually lease their land to what was called a yanushi, which is ironically today's landlord. But these people would just build tenements, well, one-story tenements, which actually held the commoners. And whenever the commoner had to go to court or to a government office, these landlords would accompany them. So there's a saying in Japan, and this would sound very odd in any other country, is that the landlord is like a parent and tenant is like a child. In many, and especially in today's United States, this would sound like pure irony, but that was not the case in old Edo City. And because the landlord, the Yanushi, was actually managing the property for the real owners. And also they were at the bottom end of the city administration. So they had a very good reason to be nice and, well, paternalistic to the commoners who lived with very low wages and whose employment was often quite what would be the word, precarious. So this was a very paternal form of a welfare state at work, and it was based on the ownership structure of the commoners. Okay, a bit abstract today, so I would like to get into further details next week. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tokugawa-san. And JJ, could you please join us?
Sure. Hi, Oksana. Hi, everybody. Yeah, currently we work on developing stage of our Edoverse, and then we are quite well. As Iehiro-san mentioned, we are trying to implement the class system, like like daimyo, samurai, and ronin, and merchant as well, and craftsman, and all of the roles to be daimyo is different role and different requirements. For example, if you want to be a merchant, then you have to pay a lot of zeni to be daimyo. For example, it's just example. And if you want to be like craftsman, you have to create a lot of things to like daimyo mansion or like, I don't know, anything. So those types of basic principles we are trying to implement currently. And then those latest version can be displayed at Blockchain Expo. It's gonna have it's gonna be held from tomorrow. No, the day after tomorrow. Sorry, May 10th. So we're gonna have a booth there, and then the guests can play and experience our latest version. So feel free to come to our booth and then enjoy our current challenge and current work as well. By the way, in crypto space, the gas fee and also transaction fee of BTC is crazily up because of the meme coin, so-called. And then one of the famous one is Pepe coin, which is crazy, currently crazy, because it rise up. I think it spiked almost like, I don't know, 5 million times compared to the beginning stage. It's super crazy. So if you put like 500, then you will get like 5 million USD or crazy. Anyway, crazy. And then I'm checking what's going on, because there's no utility of those types of meme coin. And then those tokens are minted by BRC20. Means like usually ERC20 is based on the Ethereum, but BRC20 is based on the BTC, Bitcoin. So means like those tokens are minted on Bitcoin chain, but it's gonna be transacted by Ethereum chain. Means like this transaction affects a lot on that multi-chain. I mean BTC chain and also Ethereum chain. That's why the gas fee is crazily up. So, but in a sense, I think it's so interesting for us to consider how we can collaborate with BRC20, because it's a kind of hot topic as well. And then I think no one understands the technical issues. So I'm still checking, but there's no utility, just like a cute logo, and it hits 5 million bigger times. I mean, crazy anyway. Yeah, so I'm really curious about that. So I think all of you guys, holders of NFTs and Zeni are definitely interested in this space, and you must be interested in this crazy meme. So we are gonna think of if there's a way we can have that ideas for us to enhance our ecosystem as well. But it's still meme, so yeah, it's anyway interesting. Please take a look at that. Yeah, that's enough from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, JJ. And also we have Mitsushi with us today. Hello.
Thanks. Hello. Thanks, Oksana. So there'll be a blockchain expo in Tokyo this week from Wednesday to Friday. I think we'll at the Edoverse will have some presence in blockchain expo. My observation is that a lot of traditional large Japanese corporation will attend the expo because these days a lot of traditional Japanese corporations are making investment in Web3 spaces or sparing resources for at least research and development in Web3 spaces compared to the past in which blockchain was considered as a sort of skeptically criticized by a lot of people in large industry. For example, Asahi Kasei, company namely Asahi Kasei, used blockchain to guarantee traceability of sea urchin, the uni. Traceability of sea urchin is very, complex problem in industry, but Asahi Kasei made efforts to utilize blockchain to guarantee block traceability. And other example is that NTT succeeded in utilizing blockchain for wireless technology, sharing technologies. I think that was very huge news in the industry. Just like those precedents exemplify, I think more and more large corporations will join the blockchain space. So blockchain expo this week, especially, will attract attentions from many different industries. So I think it's great that our team will have some presence in that occasion, and we can maximize our exposure in many different types of stakeholders, and we can reach out to a wider range of audience or potential partners during blockchain expo. That's one thing. And second thing is about, GJ mentioned about meme coin, the PEEP coin, and also the gas fee of Bitcoin also increases. The point that I found and got very like surprised was that the rewards for blockchain, rewards for miner, and the gas fee, the gas fee exceeded the rewards for miner in blockchain in like Bitcoin. So I think the gas fee increase is crazy right now. I think I don't know why, how to solve that kind of problem, but I think new technology is required to deal with or maneuver around high gas fee and complexity of a transaction. And when this kind of instant problem happens, and that's what I think these days recently. And this is the all updates that I can share today. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mitsushi. And Dominique, could you please sum up today's session? Hello.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Oksana. Hello, everybody. Yes, these days, gas problem because of these meme things are really serious. And then, we're really considering that what we should do just for our next NFT strategy. Because we're going to have our ukiyo museums, and that will be launched. Maybe that will be opened actually from, I believe that from June or maybe in the middle of June. You will see some outer space on Edoverse. We're going to just set up ukiyo museums. The ukiyo things that are very influential to the Europe in the 19th century, just as a very vivid art. It's a sort of contemporary art, and then the impressionists is coming up because of influence of ukiyo stuff. We are really considering that if we could provide those many ukiyo things that's just like poster. If you can, if many people can just hold it at a really low price, but in the gas fee becomes very expensive in ERC and also BRC. That's we have to really seriously we have to consider that what we should do. So in this case, then we might just really consider that and other cryptos, or maybe I think there's an layer 2 tokens, but we might just supply some of the sort of polygon-based NFTs in the ukiyo museum at a really low price. It's like $10 per each pieces, and then people can just enjoy and to hold ukiyo things. And then you will see that on Expo too, that when we just announce those everything in Expos and also monthly insider. It's during the Expo, 11th of May, and you will see that we're going to broadcast and expose our booth of Edoverse, and you will see that alpha version, the latest version of Edoverse is what happens just in Expos and also in the monthlies. Well, please just pay attention to this. And also, we at the same time, we just now developing, or actually really just entering into the sort of Fortnite world, just as the Edoverse, because if we can just have some little sort of the battle games just in the Fortnite as a third party, and the people can just enjoy what happened in the Edoverse, and then people just after this in the Fortnite that you can just coming into the Edoverse that you have in the battle game. So and then the more serious matters just in the Edoverse, of course, issues in the Edoverse is that we are now on a stage of development of the games. So we are really considering that the many kind of games, but on a first stage that it's going to be very simple. But of course, the long-term project that we have a very interesting, exciting games like a battle game, and also maybe I think horse racing, or we might just think of gambling stuff in the future, because Edo City is very famous as the Toba city. Toba means that it's actually the gamble. So we will just forming a new team of a game for each, like one team for the battle game, and one team for gambles, and one team for horse racing. So and also in soccer stadiums and soccer games, of course, we have Edo United now we're sponsoring it. They actually four consecutive actually win and victories that they made this year. That they can just, I hope that they can just step to the J6 in the next year. And then we need a sumo arena that we have a Koniseki staff that we have to think about some kind of battling too. So we have a lot of now ideas that to realize, but that we need a kind of teams for each, and then and of course, the first game is a very simple game. It's going to be very, very simple and easy, and that team will be very, I believe that it's easy peasy. But those kind of battle game and also those kind of gambling stuff that we have to be really seriously. I think we need the money, and we need the funds, and that we need the time. So we're just taking a view of the 3 years, actually, in the long-term prospects that to develop things that you can enjoy those games in Edoverse in a 3 years' time. I hope, so those are things that our staff actually really working very hard and very busy, and then hope that I think you can just enjoy the blockchain expos, and then start from the 10th of May, and just for 3 days, and then I hope that I can meet you at the fair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dominique. And yes, please, everybody, come to visit us at Blockchain Expo in Tokyo. And also thank you, everybody, for listening and speaking today. We will meet next week. Goodbye.